This is Plashet School for Girls in the East End of London. It's a popular local school which achieves above average results for its pupils. It's the middle of the summer term, and Atia is a special needs pupil who is going to start at the school in September.
Hello Atia, we're going to have a look around the school this afternoon?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, aren't you?
First of all, we're going to go across the road to the other side.
She's come to the school with the Senko from her primary school to have a look around.
It is a big transition from primary to secondary. It's a big change from mainly one class teacher to lots of different teachers, new subjects, new demands, more children, bigger buildings, finding your way around. So there's lots of different issues.
Here,
Computer room as
and
well
more
here.
access to computers, yeah.
And do you recognise this lady in here? No?
No.
Mrs. Besley, going to be your head of year.
Did she come for induction day?
Yeah, she came for induction day.
So who's your form tutor? Who? Miss Barry. Miss Barry. Oh, right, you'll get on very well with Miss Barry. She's lovely. Right, well, we should look forward to seeing you then.
As part of Plashet School's transition policy, all prospective pupils visit the school in advance. This is particularly important for special needs pupils, so the school can assess any difficulties they might have and what arrangements might be needed for them.
You okay walking around now?
All right.
Nearly finished, if not.
Atia has some weakness on the left side of her body, so the school's primary liaison officer is keen to see how she manages with the extra distances and flights of stairs she'll have to tackle here, compared with her primary school.
Do they get a plan for school?
Well, they get two helpers for the first day, taking them to lesson.
Yeah.
And obviously, if someone who's got difficulties may have someone like a buddy system.
It's a nice area, isn't it? Do they come out and sit out?
So you can sit out here in break times, dinner times, and there's a sort of garden area around there.
Okay.
It's now for drama and music.
Yeah.
And, so that's the actual teacher singing to a class.
Yeah, it's karaoke, isn't it? That would be good. Would you like karaoke?
So we'll have a music lesson once a week as well.
Yeah.
So they'll either come to there or to that room there.
Okay.
The two music areas. What you are going to do, you're either going to come to this room here, with Mrs. Batts, or the room on the end on there, Dr. Zaffer. Okay, so it's one of these two rooms. There's 6 floors on this side. So obviously
You need the lift, don't you?
when you have RE, one lesson a week, it's right at the top, so right at the 6th floor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely need that,
you
won't
definitely
you?
need that.
Yes,
So that, we
okay.
can sort that out. Or if she's with an LSA, then they will automatically take her up in the lift.
Fine, that's good.
It's a busy term when we are doing as much as we can so that we're ready for 1st of September. We're up and running, and we have a staff meeting, and the teachers will get a profile book, and each new student will have their own individual profile with a little picture, and we will tell the teachers, we'll highlight anything in a staff meeting from day one that they'll know the new students that are having and what their particular needs are and some strategies.
These are Year 7 students. It's now nearly a year since they started at the school. Among them is Ollie Ronke. She has a hearing impairment, and since she's been at the school, various special arrangements have been put in place for her, including a microphone transmitter for the teacher.
Okay, girls, can I have everyone looking this way and listening, please? If you need to collect a new book from the shelves, or if you want to ask me for any
This is
advice
a
about
timetabled
books to read,
library
come and do
session.
that. And let's say that by past, we're all busy getting on with our reading or our reading journals.
What's it like for the teacher to have a hearing-impaired pupil in her class?
I was quite intimidated at first, really, because I hadn't had hearing-impaired children in my class before. And, you know, when in the beginning of a year, when you've got a whole new class and all the different names to learn, you can sometimes forget that there are children there for whom it's even more difficult, the transition. Initially, Ola Ronke didn't have the right sort of microphone in her earpiece to use this, so we had to be very careful to ensure that we were very clear about, enunciating clearly and loudly. And with Ola Ronke, she takes a lot of cue from reading lips, so We have to make sure she sits at the front. It's a whole class thing. I mean, we all have to be very conscious that there are girls in here with additional needs and that we all don't forget about them.
Well, Olaronki is a very special case because she came from Canada. She was in a very small special school with just deaf children, and she arrived in this enormous girls' school in the East End. And I think it's actually been quite remarkable how well she's adjusted to this enormous place and just finding her way from one thing to the other.
Ollie Ronke also has one-to-one reading sessions.
Okay, let's read this one then.
When he a nice roly-poly pudding, I'm going to eat him.
Okay, pudding.
Pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel put out crying and crying. Just
Yes.
terrible she is.
Yes. How does the story end? Do you know?
I think they went back to his father's house, something.
Okay, so they didn't get eaten by the witch.
Huh?
Did they get eaten by the witch?
Get to destroy the witch inside the father's stuff.
Okay, good. You're reading very well. You're pronouncing well at the moment, Olaronki. Thank you. She arrived with a low reading age, a low spelling age, and we're obviously working to improve those. She does find a lot of lessons difficult to access, which is why she has an assistant with her quite a lot of the time. But she is accessing the lessons because we cater for every range of ability. And we're waiting to, well, we're seeing what happens.
Ah oui. Encore une fois, récréation. Récréation. Description. Description.
This is a Year 7 French lesson, and Ollie Ronke is sitting at the front with her support worker.
Récréation. 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 Excellent. Excellent. When she first came, she was very withdrawn, very shy. And I think that we've seen such a change in her in the last couple of months, and it gets better every lesson. She's so much more responsive, and there's a little light in her eye, you know, because she really understands what's going on. Chloé a 6 cours le lundi et le vendredi. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez? Qu'est-ce que vous pensez? C'est pas vrai? Chloé a 6 cours le lundi, le samedi. Non, parce que samedi, il n'y a pas de jeudi. Oui, ok, eh bien, c'est le jeudi. Quel est le mot? Oui. Oui, très bien. Voilà, très bien. Il y a une récréation à 10 heures et le déjeuner commence à...
We're still learning about what Olaronki can and can't do and where her difficulties are. And I don't think that we could pigeonhole them even now. I think we still need some time. And certainly, I would imagine by the end of term, we'll have a much better picture of Olaronki.
I've got lots of things to show you because Malia isn't able to speak for herself.
This is a major end-of-year review meeting for one of Plashet School's Year 7 special needs pupils, Malia.
This meeting's going on.
Around the table are all those who have been supporting Malia through the year, including school staff, outside agencies, and her parents.
And also to think... Malia was one of the most challenging students we've had here. She's a student who, in many areas, would be in special school. She wouldn't be in a mainstream school. She doesn't speak. No. She's working at sort of P level 3. And this is just really saying what has she achieved in Year 7 at Plashet School? Well, she can find her way to the places that she needs to go to.
When she goes over the other side, she will come straight out the lift and right round to her right lesson on her own, because I walk behind her.
So she's really got to know her surroundings. I've explained that she can concentrate really well. She can understand things that she's shown if we sort counters and so on. Yeah, well done. We now know that she does have autism, which wasn't known at primary school. And so these are just some basic facts about Malia as a summary. I've put here that she taps her objects. We can see her when she taps her objects on her lower lip. We can let her handle things. I mean, when she came, it was very hard. She had so many people to get to know, so different to primary school, where she's had fewer people. But here, and I think she's done really well with working with so many different staff. She goes into the library. She likes looking at books. You can see her there. She's looking through the books, particularly if it involves her. Sign along. Do you want to explain about sign along?
Yes, we have a weekly group of children who work on different subjects, and we use some signs and some speech, and we use a lot of objects and pictures and modelling.
You can see at the moment she's really happy. We know that she's really involved in that activity. There are other times when her face is sort of a bit more neutral. Maybe she'll tolerate the activity but not be particularly keen on it. And there are times where she definitely will refuse the activity, and she will vote with her feet. She'll wander off. So we do know when she doesn't want to do something. How does Malia communicate? Obviously that's a really, really key skill. And she doesn't speak, but she does. We've just heard that. She makes noises, particularly when she's especially involved in an activity. And we've noticed quite a range of sounds, haven't we? Actually starting to make sort of like consonant sounds. So when we do work with her, we do try to establish eye contact and make sure that you're hearing us. Yeah? Which you are at the moment. Aren't you? What's this? Lovely noses. Now, we're trying to develop her use of technology. She's just looking at some technology there.
If you're watching her now, she's really very interested in what's going on with the filming, and she's making lots of good communication about, I want to see that, and I want to know what's going on, and I'm interested. So I think there's lots of communication there. We just need to tap in and be able to answer her.
It is interesting, given time, she's starting to really explore her environment now. She's looking around and seeing what's new and what's different here.
So you may want to build in all those things that she feels familiar with and safe about in order to make sure that her transition into year 8 is successful.
Right, that's a good point. Well, thank you all very much for coming, and well done Malia, because she's really kept going and shown us so much during this meeting, so well done.
Anyway, thank you very much for
No, thank you.
You do very hard work. Thanks. I know it's no easy job,
If we're not continually evaluating what they're doing, what we're doing, how what we're doing is making, is giving them the opportunities to progress and to access the environment, then we're not doing our job.